Thank you so much for your time today. It's going to be great to hear from you and your experience. Tell us a little bit about you, your name, what you're doing at OneTrust. How long have you been there?
Yeah, so I've been at OneTrust for about a year and a half now. I come from a company called Brandwatch, which I was at for about 10 years. So it was a really big change for me. I am the regional vice president of the UK and I. So I go back and forth between Madrid and London, and it's been a really, really fun year and a half.
Amazing. Tell us a bit, what do you love about leading sales teams?
So what I really love about leading sales teams is really the excitement that is needed to lead a sales team. Sales is a really high pressure environment. It's quarter after quarter, year after year. So you just finally close out a quarter, you finish great, you feel like you're on a high, and then the next day you start from zero again and it starts again. And there's a lot of pace that goes behind that. And part of that pace really is to keep the morale and the excitement of the team. So it's very similar to sports in that you're only as good as your last game, you're only as good as your last quarter. So I always say that sales has a short memory. So it doesn't really matter what you've done last year. It really is keeping that consistency within the team and the team performance. And so much of that is having that excitement and constantly looking to improve, constantly looking to grow, constantly looking to bring more value to your clients. And that is really what allows you to keep that pace within a team quarter on quarter basis.
Great. So you're already touching on it. And my next question has to do with what are the ingredients of success for a salesperson or a sales team?
Yeah. For an individual salesperson, I think that there's a few key ingredients for success. Number one for me is really consistency, consistency, consistency. Anybody can be good for periods and spouts of time. But what the best reps do is they do the right activities in a consistent way. They gamify their calendar. They're very disciplined in the work that they do. They're very organized in the work that they do. So rather than saying, hey, this month I'm looking low, I'm really going to focus on outbounding this month, they are very operational about the way they do that in a week by week basis. They're very operational about the way they resource their clients, the way they work with their SDRs, the way they work with their marketing teams. So they have a clear and consistent cadence on a week by week basis, and they're doing a little bit consistently rather than working in like these big spurts of energy and then not doing anything and big spurts of energy. And that's really where you're going to see that value start to build. So number one for me is consistency. And I think you could really say that about any part of life. I always say, like, if you want to be healthy, sometimes I speak to my friends. I say, it's better to go to the gym 3 days a week consistently than go for 1 month and go 6 days a week. So it's really about that consistency. My second would be slow down to speed up. Especially when working with clients. A lot of times you get a project come in and you get really excited and you want to jump right into things, but slowing down at the beginning is actually going to speed you up later on in the process. So don't rush discovery, don't rush pain, don't rush understanding your client's needs. Really dive in and understand the pain of your client, understand the politics of your client, understand what the wider business needs are, understand who your champions are, who your EB is, what their needs are within the business. So really taking that time early on in the process, in the qualification, in the discovery, in the pain, is going to save you a lot of headaches later down the line when things do get complicated and when there are challenges. So it's really taking the time to understand, how do I drive value? How do I solve pain? And unless you've taken enough time to understand what the depth of that pain is and what the root cause of that pain is, you're not going to properly know how to solve that pain. So even though it's always exciting and we want to rush that process along in the beginning, take the time to do your homework from the beginning. And then the last one for me, which is probably one of the most important, is creative problem solving and that kind of toxic positivity. I've never once in my career, and Susanna, you might feel this way, especially a significant size deal that you're working on. There has never once been a large deal that I worked on with a client that at one point it hasn't felt like everything was going to completely fall apart. Not once. So in those moments, you really need to be a creative problem solver as an AE. Know how to bring in wider teams. Know that keep a level head, even though it feels like you're on a roller coaster ride. that toxic positivity in front of a client, it's our job to figure it out if there's challenges. So bring that into us. The right AE will call me, call their manager, call other people within the organization, whether that be SCs that you're working with, whether that be the technical team, and we'll put our heads together and we'll problem solve as a team. And it's not always about following the status quo. It's about opening new doors and saying, okay, we might have not done this before, but what is something that we can do here in this moment that we can use as an example of how to remove this barrier further on? So to just sum it all up, I think the 3 key points here really are consistency, slow down to speed up, and then creative problem solving. For me, those 3 together, that is like a stellar AE.
Oh, thank you so much, Jess. I'm sure that all the talent out there is gonna listen to this and feel inspired about applying to some of our jobs. So thanks so much for sharing your energy and your wisdom, and see you soon.
Thank you, Suze. Bye.
Bye-bye.